Conversation with the Real Alien, the Lacerta Files Part 2, debriefed episode 28. Y'all seem to like part 1 of this little series, So if you didn't see that, make sure you go watch it. I reacted to it. This is part 2 of the Lacerta Files. And let's see what this female arrogant reptilian's talking about. Like my video, subscribe if you're new. Smell me. Yeah, let's get into it.
All right. So we left off. They were talking about how the Elohim were featured in the Bible, and that even the reptilians were featured in the Bible unfavorably, apparently. She asks, should I continue? And now...
Which, I can't say I fully agree with that. At least, well, with the reptilians in the Bible, I can't fully agree with that. They could be referring to them at some points, I can't lie, but also it just depends on how you're interpreting the Bible. Because like when they said like fallen angels, right? Whatever form you want to give that, it depends, right? But with the whole Elohim stuff though, even though the reptilian reference those blonde beings as the Elohim, we do need to understand that Elohim can have a very broad meaning because even angels could be considered part of the Elohim. You see what I'm trying to say? So the Elohim, when it's mentioned in the Bible, is referring to the beings that created the heavens and the earth, right? But those part of the Elohim is different than like the lower Elohim. Because really the Elohim is just anybody that's a part of that divine family and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Which there's several lesser beings that aren't the same as these creator beings that would still be considered part of the Elohim. So that's like it. That's considering that everything she's saying is true in some type of way. That's the way that it would be true. You feel me? And like I said in previous videos, we're gonna watch this video as if the reptilian is speaking facts, or we're gonna watch it as if it's a guy who really is talking to a reptilian. Now that reptilian could be lying about certain shit. You feel me? But we're gonna at least act like this is a real reptilian that's really saying these things. You feel me? So yeah, if the reptilian could have meant what I just said about how it's like a lesser part of that same family or some shit. You feel me? When it came to the war between the Elohim and the reptilians on Earth and stuff like that, which I'm not gonna confirm or deny if it's in the Bible because I haven't read all the Bible stories. Therefore, you know what I'm saying? I can't fully confirm or deny. You know what I'm saying?
We move on to Ole K, as he names himself. Question. No, not now. I've made some notes about your history, and now I have some questions. Answer. Please ask. Question. First of all, you handle with a very large time scale. You claim that your primitive ancestors lived together with the dinosaurs, survived the, as you called it, artificial cataclysm, and evolved then over 40 million years, and your evolution was completed 10 million years ago. This sounds very unbelievable to me. Can you say something to this? Answer. I understand that this must sound absolutely unbelievable to you, because you are a young and genetically engineered species. Your historical horizon ends at a scale of just some thousands of years, and you think this is right. But it isn't. This is impossible. Your programmed mind is obviously not able to handle with such large timescales. Our evolution time may seem incredible long for... Again, please forgive the amount of grammatical mispronunciations or misinterpretations here. This is translated from Swedish to English, so there may be some things here. As I read them out loud, I kind of cringe at what I'm saying, but, let's move past that, please. Our evolution time may seem incredible long to you.
Now, look, I kind of want to be big on my screen. Pause, but I want to, you know what I'm saying. So if I block some of the words, bro, I'll try to lean back or something like that, bro.
But this is in fact the original way of nature. Remember, your early mammal ancestors developed together with dinosaurs, and they survived the bomb, like us. They evolved slowly during the next millions of years, and they divided into various species and shapes. Some of them larger, some of them smaller. This is evolution of the body. But what about their mind and intelligence? They were simple animals. The mammals evolved since, let us say, 150 millions of years. But only in the last 2-3 millions of years they were able to become intelligent and thinking. And within this small period, beings like you were created. From nature, 148 millions of years time for the evolution of animal-like mammals, 2 millions of years time for the development, or more or less, intelligent beings like you? Ask yourself, do you really think this accelerated...
This is a weird looking animal. I know a couple I know a couple niggas that look like this. You know what I'm saying? It's not a diss. It's for real. But it's kind of a weird looking animal. You know what? I could see the monkey in these niggas. You know what I'm saying? No racial.
evolution is natural, then your species is more ignorant than I've thought.
My bad.
We have not evolved wrong, but you. Okay, Lacerda here is claiming that the human species was aided in their development, especially considering their intelligence. Now, natural evolution does exist. She is not saying it doesn't exist, but a guided evolution in this case was necessary in order to reach the heights of intelligence that we have reached in the last couple million years compared to the hundreds of millions of years that we've been around, apparently. And so if we were to compare this to modern paleontology, it would say that hominids were only around for several hundred thousands of years, as opposed to millions and hundreds of millions. And so, if true, very cool. I also seem to think that on our personal time scale of several hundred thousands of years versus the last 5 to 10,000 years, there did also seem to be an accelerated growth intellectually. I often entertain the idea as well that, especially since the meteoric rise in propulsion systems and energy enhancement or energy harnessing that we've been going through, we might have also been aided by, extraterrestrial technology at some point, especially after the 40s. This is interesting, but, if
I can't say I could fully confirm or deny, but it could seem a little bit plausible. Nigga, we know we have alien tech on this bitch. Let's stop acting like that. We know we got that. We got that for sure. Niggas know we got that.
I were to bring my Tesla
We got that.
back into the 1500s or even earlier.
Fuck the Tesla, bro. We have a looking glass. We have fucking devices that could fucking see into the future. Niggas all talk about a fucking Tesla. We don't give a fuck about no fucking Tesla, bro. Come on now. We have several different kinds of inventions that come from aliens that just haven't even dropped on the market yet. Niggas have density chambers, shit that could fucking make your physical body go into a higher fucking plane of existence. You taking your body with you. You don't even gotta fucking do no spiritual practices. You just hop in the chamber, you go. This how they coming nowadays, bro. We got all kinds of shit. Healing chambers and shit, bro. Age regression and shit, bro. Come on now. We got hella shit, bro. Niggas wanna talk about a Tesla? Wanna talk about a motherfucking Tesla? Come on now, bro. I'm not stunting that.
Back into the year 1, or even earlier than that. Let's bring my Tesla back 5,000 years ago.
Like
the people who discover that Tesla will never be able to back engineer the technology that my Tesla has. Impossible.
You know what? That might be true, but I don't know. I can't confirm. I really cannot confirm or deny that. With the alien shit, that's nigga. We already know that. But I can't confirm. This shit might actually be true. But you can only imagine what happens with the time machine.
Possible,
nigga.
That they're
we got time machines and shit damn near.
Feeble minds can comprehend the amount of technology that is put into that. Is just no way. But what they will do is they'll take apart the door and they'll use the metal to help shield their. Will never. My phone battery.
We don't give a fuck no more.
But I track.
I want to get back.
Many
to
facts about talking lizard lady. Question. I understand, but I have another question. You've mentioned many facts about the ancient war between the aliens 65 million years ago. This happened very long before your kind became really intelligent, as far as I've understood you. Why do you know so many things about that first war and about the evolution of our species? Good question. Answer.
Yeah, we getting.
This is a good.
We asking big boy things, huh? That's what we doing now, ain't it?
Good question. Much better than the previous.
fuck up, bro. Yo, see now I really want to bring I want to bring the alien scrap to Mrs. Lacerda and say, yo, apologize for all that human shit talk, bro. You wanna keep on dissing the humans, acting like we so stupid. What happens when I put the Glock to your brain? I'ma watch you turn stupid. I mean an alien Glock. You might not want you might not be scared of no FNN, no blue tips, but nigga, I got that I got that Springer. You know what I'm saying? The alien gonna make weird noises. Nigga, that shit sounds stupid. Nigga, it's noises that don't even sound like a gun. That's what the alien Glock making, nigga. I'm bowing your shit. What is you talking about? Nightmare in the preview. Damn, she hating, bro.
And I have not explained it properly to you. Our knowledge about the First War comes completely from ancient artifact, which was found around 16,000 years ago from our archaeologists on the continent you call North America today.
That's what's up.
They found there a round plate with a diameter of approximately 47 of your centimeters. The plate was made of an even, for us unknown, magnetic material, and inside the plate there was another smaller crystal plate, which contained an enormous amount of information coded in the molecular structure of the crystal.
Memory plate. Niggas coming up with this shit off the fly, ain't it? Niggas just coming up with this shit off the fly, huh? That's a great question. See, it's like here's my thing, right? Nigga, and Pete, see, numerology don't lie, right? This shit say 1234, and nigga, it's 1233. So nigga, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm about to spit some shit, and 1233 got to repeat a number, nigga. Look, listen, bro. Look. This is the beginning of a new theory, bro. It seemed like this bitch tried to make this nigga seem stupid because he really did act like Mike Bannon one. You know what I'm saying? That nigga called her out on her shit and was like, bitch, I don't believe you. You know what I'm saying? If you niggas weren't even fucking intelligent, who the fuck was smart enough to hold the memory of what the fuck happened to you and stuff like that? She's like, shit, he got us. The memory plate. Good question. No. We thought an artifact, the memory plate. What is you talking about? And once again, this could just be a human making all this shit up, but we're not gonna see it like that. This is a real reptilian. That's how we're gonna do it, nigga. The fuck? And so far, this bitch is lying.
Crystal. This quote-unquote memory plate was manufactured from the last bomb survivors of the human race from Procyon already 65 million.
You know what? That might actually be true. Fuck. Something like that could be true. I'm not gonna cap. You know what I'm saying? Only because niggas on Procyon really could do shit like that. Fuck. She got me. That could still be cap though. See, I'm trying to talk shit. It making me look stupid, nigga. What are you talking about?
Years ago.
Shit.
But it was completely intact when we found it. Our scientists were able to encode the messages and data, and so we heard the first time about the events which took place in the distant past.
I don't know. I'm like 50-50 on that, bro. I'm like 50-50 on that shit, bro. It might be 4 to 5. It might be 4 to 5 quick maths, bro. Fuck. I fucked up. 45-55, nigga, or 40-60. God damn. I'm a dumb nigga, ain't it? I'm more doubtful than, but I don't know. I don't know. She might have got that one, actually. Shit, I'm 50-50, bro.
And which led to both the extinction of the dinosaurs. The plate contained detailed descriptions of both species, but more.
Because with all the stuff I done heard, bro, I don't know, bro. I'm not even gonna worry about if it's true or not. Let's just see what she's saying. You see, let's not form no opinion. See, trying to form the opinion and shit. That's what's fucking niggas up right now. Niggas not even gonna try to get into that. Fuck all that, bro.
About the humanoids and about the events and weapons, including the fusion bomb. It contained also a description of the animals and saurians on the Earth, including our pre-intelligent ancestor species. The rest of our knowledge about our evolution comes from skeletons and from back reading and decoding of our DNA.
If that crystal is real, that shit sound dope as fuck. Let me get that.
You see,
that. Then again, though, I don't really need that shit because I could just leave my body and find all this shit out for myself anyway. Because so far with what I've tapped into, bro, I don't know. Then again, I never really went back to the dinosaur days. I never really tried that. Never really cared to do that, to be honest. So this could be like a fucking, yeah. Who knows, bro? Cause that's nothing I really cared about for real. The history I tapped into, bro, has been very exactly what the fuck I've needed for how humans got to where they are today, and like a pretty big overview, you know. So shit. I might have to find this out in the astral. You know what I'm saying? But before I do that, nigga, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause I have other shit I'm doing right now and stuff like that. So in the meantime, while I'm waiting to get to that point where I want to do this shit, let me get that crystal, my nigga. Ugh.
We know the real truth about our roots since 16,000 years. Before that time, there was a more religious idea of our creation. That's interesting. So I think if this is a LARP or if this is truth or whatnot, but I think the point here is to really throw up a mirror in front of us and say like, hey, once you get past this religious thing, there's a whole world waiting for you after that. Question: what has happened with both alien species? Answer: we don't know exactly. The surviving humanoids on Earth obviously died in the years after the bomb, and others of their kind and the reptilians never came back to Earth, as far as we know. Concerning the reptilian aliens, there is a possibility that this...
You know what? Wait a minute. So the war was between reptilians and Nordics. That's essentially what they're saying, and it was on Earth. Oh yeah, that should probably happen. I'm not gonna catch. That should probably happen. Yeah, because I know there's a time when reptilians and Nordics would beef over the Earth. So yeah, that shit probably did happen. Now I'm thinking. See, what really threw me off it was the fact that she's calling them the Elohim and stuff like that. But when I just take that out of it and think about what I do know about, yeah, reptilians and Nordics, them niggas probably did beef. And she talking about some. She said in a different video that she's not related to the reptilians, bro. Whatever her species was, even if it was like unevolved and shit like that, bro, it probably did come from these niggas. They were probably just a fucking experiment on the planet that the reptilians had and didn't even fucking know about it, to be honest. You feel me? Who the fuck knows, bro? But anyway, yeah, no, it's gonna happen. I ain't gonna cap.
That it was physically impossible for them to return, because the matter between bubbles is sometimes in rapid movement. The current theory is that both species had ceased to exist during millions of years. That's an interesting thing to say, that
Now, did the war happen in the way that she said it happened? Who the fuck knows? You know what I'm saying? I just know that there could have been a period where Nordics was fighting with reptilians on Earth. That's the only part I would probably confirm. You know what I'm saying? Say that that's probably true.
matter between bubbles is sometimes in rapid movement. The matter between... What would that entail? What would that mean? Why would that be the reason that we don't see them anymore?
Well, I guess she's saying that... Because I was thinking about this too. If that did happen, that could be like I was thinking that if that did happen, that could have also been an astral war, right? Now, with that being said, or it could be like a different dimensional space. So, because the way she uses bubbles, I think she might have called them universes, but I don't even know if it could be. Oh, I remember it was different space times. Yeah, that's what it seemed like when she was talking about it. It seemed like different space times. So if they're from a certain space time in a higher plane, right? And that space time was close to this space time, right? They could have easily hopped inside this space time and had their shit going on. But if they're from this original space time and the matter begins to separate them, then this space time will not be able to overlay with this space time, and therefore, really those seem like time spaces. Now I'm talking because this might seem like different. Actually, I don't even know. I'll just say different space times for now. Pretty much, we'll just say let's say that these beings are in a whole different pocket of this reality, right? When that pocket was close to this one, they could be seen on the Earth. When that pocket moved away, you couldn't see them no more. Okay, simple as that.
They're just acting on a different frequency than we are. Question.
Yeah, that's exactly, nigga.
You've mentioned skeletons of your kind. How can it be that human scientists haven't found any trace of you and your ancestors if you really lived for such a long time on this planet? We have found many skeletons of primitive dinosaurs, but none of an advanced reptilian being with a larger skull and brain and a hand with a thumb as you have described before. Answer.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Yes, you have. But your great scientists were not able to reconstruct the skeletons completely because they wanted to reconstruct reptilian animals, not intelligent beings. You would laugh if you know how many of the, especially small, saurian skeletons in your museums are totally wrong constructions of never existing beings.
You know, bro, I will be real. I've seen niggas who've left their I know niggas who left their bodies and they said that dinosaurs weren't even real for real. And that the like one person said that they're like dragon bones. Another person said that they're like it's just like not even like what you really think. You know what I'm saying? Like they might still be like a saurian race or like a dinosaur, but the way you think about a dinosaur right now is maybe not how they looked back then type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like there's certain dinosaurs that they talk about, but niggas leave their body and go back in time, they just don't see that shit. You know what I'm saying? So now I might have to really time travel, bro. I might have to really do that. Or just go to the Omniversal Hall of Records. That's probably smarter to go to the Omniversal Hall of Records. Just see what they talking about up there. We gonna find out.
Because you used many bones which didn't really belong together, and sometimes you made artificial bones. If something was missing, you need to construct an animal saurian. Many of your scientists are aware of this problem, but they don't like to make it public because they can't explain it. And they claim that the right bones were just missing, and their construction is right. Many bones of us were used for iguanodon reconstructions. For example, the hands with the visible thumb. Look at an iguanodon in a museum, and you will see that I'm right. A scientist in the country you call United States has built a nearly correct skeleton of our kind some years ago, but the local government, which is partly aware of our existence, confiscated the reconstruction. As we live today, and since thousands of years, nearly completely beneath Earth, you will not find any cadavers or skeletons of us. Mm-hmm. Okay, I gotta look up a photo of an iguanodon now, all right? Because that's pretty cool. Hold on.
I'll think about doing that.
Oh, they do have thumbs.
That's
wild.
So
weird.
Yeah, that is
Let
wild.
me just ask ChatGPT one question as well here. So apparently scientists or paleontologists have had a hard time reconstructing certain dinosaurs because they say some bones are missing. Do they use different animal bones or even make their own bones to fit these skeletons?
Yes. Paleontologists sometimes use bones from closely related species to fill in gaps. They also create reconstructions or models based on a fossil record and existing knowledge. It's a mix of scientific inference and creativity to get as accurate a picture as possible.
I'm not saying, that's... What? All right. We're going to keep going. How cool would that be if this is real? I'm not saying it's real, but how cool would that be? Question. You speak sometimes about underground cities and artificial sunlight. Do you mean something like a hollow Earth with this? Is there a second sun inside our planet? Answer. No. Earth is not completely hollow, and there is no second sun inside. This story is...
There is a black sun, though, but the black sun isn't a physical thing. Like it's an how can I make it? Because if I say in an akashic etheric construct, you're gonna be like, what the fuck do you mean? It's pretty much like, no, that's not a good word. Just know that, nigga. It's like it's. I'll just say it's an etheric sun. We'll put it like it's an etheric sun. Even though that's not the best way to say it, it's an etheric sun. Okay, it's like a sun that's made of ether. You could say. You feel me? Yeah.
Ridiculous and physically not possible. Even your species should be intelligent enough not to believe this. Okay, a little jab at our species once again.
Yeah, right.
Once again, this sour little reptilian is displaying a salty behavior towards us hominids here, us surface dwellers who get to bask in the sun. And how amazing that sun is, might I admit. Do you know how much mass a sun must have to produce energy and light for a longer time by fusion? Do you really think that there could be a small active sun inside this planet? When I talk about our subterranean home, I talk about large cave systems. The caves you have discovered near to the surface are tiny in comparison to real caves, and huge caverns deeper in the earth in a depth of 2,000 to 8,000 of your meters, but connected with many tunnels to the surface or to surface near caves. And we live in large and advanced cities and colonies inside such caves. Major sites of us are beyond the Arctic, Antarctic, Inner Asia, North America, and Australia. If I talk about artificial sunlight in our cities, I don't mean a real sun, but various technological sources of light, including gravitational sources, which illuminates the caverns and tunnels. There are special cave areas and tunnels with a strong UV light in every city, and we use that places to heat our blood. Furthermore, we also have some surface sun places in remote areas, especially in America and Australia. Could you imagine just being on a hike somewhere in Patagonia or in like Arizona, in the desert somewhere, and you just see like just a bunch of like naked reptilians taken in the sun?
Bro, what's up, bro?
Comment if that's ever happened to you. A lot of people watch these videos. You never know who's watching. If any of you encountered a sunbathing reptilian to surface near entry to your world. Possibly horny. Question: where we find such a surface near entry to your world? Ooh. Answer: do you really think I will tell you their exact location? If you want to find such an entry, you have to search it by yourself, but I would advise you not to do that. When I came to the surface 4 days ago, I used an entry approximately 300 of your kilometers north from here near a large lake, but I doubt that you would be able to find it. There are only a few entries in this part of the world. More are far from north and east. So it's kind of weird that she's like, you think I'll tell you that information? It's 300 kilometers north, close to a lake. Like, I mean, why would you even... I guess maybe it's just really hidden. A lot of lakes. As a little advice, if you are...
Yeah, like what you gonna do? Just try to find your local lake and just try to find that shit? Like, it's not gonna happen.
in a narrow cave or in a tunnel or even in something that looks to you like an artificial mine shaft, and as deeper you walk, as smoother appear the walls, and if you feel unusual warm air streaming from the depth, or if you hear the rushing sound of streaming air in a ventilation or elevator shaft, then look for a special kind of artificial and smooth wall somewhere in the cave with a door made of gray metal. If you would be able to open that door, but I doubt this, you would be in a usually round technical room with ventilation systems and elevators to the depth. This is probably an entry to our world. If you have reached this point, you should know that we are now definitely aware of your presence. You are already in big trouble. If you have entered the round room, but you should look for one or two of the reptilian symbols on the wall. If there are no symbols or other symbols, you are maybe in bigger trouble as you think, because not every underground installation belongs to our kind. Some new tunnel systems are operated from alien races, including hostile races. My general advice: if you find yourself in a for you strange underground installation, run away as fast as you can.
LOL.
I believe that was also John Lear's advice when he spoke about the aliens. That is crazy. I've heard stories in the past of deep underground bases, but I've also heard stories of people who traveled in these caverns and even military who've encountered beings, just extraterrestrial beings underground and like engaged in combat in some way, shape, or form. Would that also explain a lot of the missing people, you know, in the national parks? Really interesting stuff to contemplate. But of course, you know, often we think space is a good place to hide, like the backside of the moon or Mars, which is true. Then we go to, you know, the oceans. Obviously, the oceans as well. The oceans, I mean, are at depths that we cannot reach and therefore a great place to hide. But underground, you can build thousands of stories underground. And you would not be affected by earthquakes as much as the surface. It's a safer environment to live. You would probably avoid any natural cataclysm or disaster forever. Thus, your species would be allowed to continue existing for millions of years. You know, so a smarter species would eventually become subterranean, perhaps. But a happier species likes the sun. All right, we enjoy our sunshine. Question. You mentioned earlier that you used the name Lacerda when you were among humans and that you enjoy it to be in the real sun on the surface of the earth. But how can you be among humans? You don't look like us, so anyone will see that you belong to another species. Why have nobody seen and described a being like you if your kind lives already since our creation together with us on the same planet? Can you explain that to me?
And can you explain that? Can you
Answer.
explain that?
First, my kind was of course seen and described and worshipped many times in your primitive past. For example, in your religious writings, like your Christian Bible. You can find descriptions and even simple drawings of us, for also in the southern parts of American continent on various temples. So-called wise men from India and from the Asian mountains have described our species many times in writings, together with other wise men of the African continent. I think we are the most mentioned non-human species, maybe besides the Elohim, in your history. If you don't believe me, have a look at your history and you will see the truth in my words. Your great scientists called the belief in us superstition and religion, and today's intelligent humans have forgotten our presence on the surface in the past. Furthermore, our species is seen even today sometimes from human witnesses in its original shape on Earth or in our surface near entries and tunnel systems. But fortunately, you and your media didn't take the reports of such crazies serious.
Yeah,
that's good for us, and that's the reason why we allow those people to see us as we really are. Some of my species are also in direct contact with human scientists and politicians from the surface, but this is top secret, as you would call it, and nobody of your public knows anything about it. The matter of this meetings is generally the upcoming war with and between the alien species and our assistance in this war. But there is also another explanation. Why we can walk among you, and why you are not able to recognize us. Mimicry. The following may again sound unbelievable and even shocking to you. But as you have asked, I will explain it. I've told you before that we have more advanced mental abilities than your species, and with more advanced, I mean that we are able to use telepathy and telekinesis from our birth on. In fact, mother and newborn child communicate generally with telepathy during the first months, without special training, as you needed to activate these sleeping parts of your brain. The structure of our brain is a little bit different to yours, and our hypophyse is larger and more active than yours.
And our, where's it at? Hypothalamus? Is that what the fuck they meant?
The structure of our brain is a little bit different to yours, and our hypophyse is larger and more active than yours, especially when we are in sunlight. Our own abilities are very strong in comparison to yours, but weak in comparison to the matter string / bubble mind forces of some of the alien species on this planet. I was never good in that mind things, but we all have these primary abilities and can use them, for example, for our protection or even for attack.
Interesting.
Okay. So Lacerda here is saying that they do have some capabilities, that the mother and child are connected telepathically and communicate in this way for the first few months, which is something that we've also, been hearing about with nonverbal children, namely the telepathy tapes with Kai Dixon. She mentions that, and Dr. Diane Powell, they both mention that these nonverbal children, because of their lack of ability to communicate, and communication is such a essential part of survival, that you will find a way to communicate in order to survive, and that's how they've developed their own dormant sort of telepathic sense. I also enjoy the fact that Lacerda's like, we're not at the top of the food chain. I mean, them as reptilians are not at the top of the food chain. That's really interesting. Must be a real blow to her ego, because she does seem a little bit entitled. When we are on the surface and we meet human beings, even a large group of them, this makes no difference. All of your minds are like one mind. We are able to touch their mind and induce them via telepathy. The command, see us as one of your kind. And the weak human mind will accept this order without refusion, and they will see us, despite our reptilian look, as normal humans. I've done this many times, and you weak humans generally see me as an attractive brown-haired woman because I have created this special mimicry image in my mind years ago, and I can induce it into your minds without problems.
I mean, if that is true, that's a cool ass ability. I mean, that is possible to do. You know what I'm saying? You could fuck with it. Think about it like this. I mean, you know how like you have dreams, you fucking see you see shit in your imagination as if it's like really in front of you and shit like that. That shit could happen on Earth, but it has to be a wild ass experience, bro. There's no way that no one's ever caught that shit before. If that is their ability. But hey, man, like it. I mean, shit. You never know, bro. But that shit just okay. If you're really that advanced, you know what I'm saying? Okay.
I've needed some time at the beginning to
If
learn
you
the
say
use of the
so.
mimicry correctly. But then it worked nearly automatically, and I can even walk among a group of yours and nobody will recognize what I am. There's a simple switch. See us as we really are. See us as we want you to see us in your consciousness, which was placed there from the Elohim when they created your kind. And we can use this switch to convince you that you see humans when you look at us. Other aliens use this switch too. It is easier than you think. When there are meetings between your kind and aliens which seem to look exactly like yours, these aliens have used that switch, and some of the meetings with man-like aliens can be also explained with meetings with my kind. When I met EF for the first time, he saw me also as a normal human woman, and I remember that he was very frightened and shocked when I revealed to him my real appearance. Fascinating. Okay. So much to unpack, but Lacerda did say that there were humanoid aliens, but now she's also saying that some of the human-looking aliens are actually other-looking aliens, might not be reptilian, that are using this mental switch to make people see them or perceive them as the being wants them to be perceived.
We'll stop this video at halfway. So not right now, but when it hits like 34.
This is really interesting because when you know, I've studied hypnosis for entertainment purposes as a magician quite a bit. And these are things that you can actually induce through hypnosis. Hypnotic states allow you to really play with the senses of the mind. And that includes smell, it includes touch, it includes sight, it includes taste, it includes everything. There's studies of people who were fed invisible food. And not only were they pretending or thinking that they were really eating, they were actually having bowel movements. So physiologically, you're even able to affect the human body with suggestion. And so something like this isn't completely impossible and much more likely than my skin actually shifting into, you know, some chameleon-like form.
That is fast.
I think that this idea actually had
the fact that he added that actually was kind of helpful.
As legs to stand on. That could work, you know, theoretically. It wouldn't work for us because we would have to, induce everyone into a hypnotic state and lower their cognitive sort of reflexes. Whereas because of their evolution, they can do that very simply without you even knowing it. And that's interesting. And the point about your mind is all one mind is very interesting. That's something that I think we're just starting to scratch the surface on.
That is true.
With this whole idea. Well, it's a philosophy that has been echoed for a very long time. This idea that everything's off a part of it. I digress. Question, do you mean that you can really make me believe that I talk now with an attractive brown-haired woman instead of a reptilian being like you? Answer, probably, but I don't think so in your special case. When someone expects to see a human woman instead of me, I can do it without problems with his mind, even with large groups, because nobody expects to see a reptile woman. But I have allowed your mind to see me in my original appearance from our first meeting on, and I have never induced something into your mind. So you have already realized that I am not human. If I now try to change this, it would probably lead to an absolute confusion or to unconscious.
And that was the thing. Okay, so that when they said like that, it makes more, because that's what I was thinking about. Like, that have to shock somebody's brain so much, but the expectation of it, that does make it make sense because inside your dreams, right? Because you're not that conscious, you kind of just expect to see certain shit no matter how crazy it looks. It's like your expectations like, oh, that has to be real. So it's just like boom, you know what I'm saying? But like if you already know what something is, then it changes inside your dream. Like let's say you have a lucid dream. If you dream about some shit in a lucid dream and like something just changes dramatically, you're like, wait a minute, that's not real. Like even when you become lucid in your dreams, it's because something seems like it's not normal and it kind of shocks you. You feel me? So a shock like that in front of your face within the physical plane probably would make a nigga go unconscious. But if they already expect that shit, I can see how it actually works.
Consciousness, and I don't want to harm you. As I've said, I'm not very good at these things. That's super interesting too. It's almost like what was that movie where the guy had like these special glasses in the 80s and he could see everything for what it truly was. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like once you see it, you can't unsee it. That's kind of cool. Question, that's very scary. Can you kill with that ability? Answer, yes, but it's forbidden. This means not that it was not done in previous times. Question, have both sexes this ability? Answer, yes. That's a sexist question.
No, it isn't. He said that because the women and men are different.
He's clapped.
But that was kind of stupid, though. It was a stupid one because they already said mother and child. So they didn't say mother and female child. They said mother and child, which means mom and son, which means boy and girl. That was the part that was stupid, though. Not, no, I wouldn't say completely sexist.
Been back, he felt a little slighted with her condescension. So he's like, what about women? Question, what about photos? How do you appear on photos? I'm going to guess that they just appear like reptilians. Answer, this is a silly question. I appear on photos as a reptile being because I can't have influence on the photo or on the camera itself, but only on the photographer's mind.
Yeah.
If he or she would develop the film and show the photo to others, they would see me in my original shape. That's the reason why it's forbidden for our kind to be filmed or photographed, and we must avoid every camera on the surface. That is very difficult, and we were filmed sometimes in the past without our knowledge, especially from certain of your governments and secret agencies.
Word.
I would love to see those films. Also, on a little side note, that lady screaming in the airplane suddenly isn't so insane. You consider, the fact that she might have inadvertently seen one of these beings for what they really are, be it reptilian or not, but using her words, that mother back there is not real. I would have loved to be on that flight, by the way. That'd have been a cool flight to be on. Probably not. Probably been a stressful flight after she said that. She said something about the plane going down and something else. I would not like to be on that flight. I would have probably, I would have probably got off with her.
Yeah.
They're like, this lady's right. He isn't real. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Question, what other command?
All right, we're going to leave it at that, though. Like, we going to end this video right here. Love you all. Catch my next video. Peace. The freak out. You smell me.